the Republicans and especially Donald Trump are trying to paint the shutdown as the Democrats' fault. Now, in order to do that, they came out with a Twitter handle, of course. This is Trump. It would be weird if he didn't do some sort of mocking insult, right? So they tried to call it the hashtag Schumer shutdown. Now that's curious because to the best of my knowledge, Chuck Schumer is not the head of the Senate. That's because the Democrats don't control the Senate, the Republicans do. The Republicans also control the House and the White House. So how this is a Democratic shutdown is unclear. But nonetheless, of course, politically speaking, I understand the motivation to want to blame the other side. Okay, so that is still within the realm of perfectly normal so far. You might disagree with it, but it's normal. Okay, well, who's backing hashtag Schumer shutdown? Because it's actually fairly popular. Well, certainly Trump's loyalists are, the MAGA guys, the alt-right, they love all that stuff. But it turns out there's someone else also backing the hashtag. For that, let's go to a HuffPost report on it of a third party that did an analysis. Hashtag Schumer shutdown, the hashtag GOP leaders and White House are using to accuse Democrats of causing the shutdown, on Sunday night became the top trending hashtag being promoted by Russian bots and trolls on Twitter. According to the Alliance for Securing Democracy, a project led by former top national security officials from both parties. So they're tracking the bots and the trolls, and they love Schumer shutdown. Wow, look at that. There is another Russian-funded operation supporting Donald Trump. I'm led to believe by almost everybody on the right and also some people on the left, there's no evidence the Russians supporting Donald Trump all over social media. I mean, almost all the fake news that ran during the election was in favor of Donald Trump. Almost all the Russian propaganda during the election was in favor of Donald Trump. And now, look at this, the bots and the trolls are favoring Donald Trump again. Wild coincidence, I'm sure. What evidence? What evidence? It's right in front of you. Okay, so here's a chart that shows you different things that the Russian bots and trolls are supporting. So Schumer shutdown is now ranked #1 there. Release the memo is another hashtag that the right wing was using based on some FBI memo, and they think that, oh, it's supporting Hillary Clinton and we have to release the memo and then arrest everybody involved. Yeah, of course the Russians would love to arrest some members of the FBI that are investigating the Russians and keeping law and order in America. Of course they'd love to destroy our FBI. There they are, helping Donald Trump destroy our FBI. What a wild coincidence again. And you go down the list and it gives you a sense of what their marching orders are. And the marching orders is support the right wing, support Donald Trump, because the Republicans have the Russians' best interests in mind. Man, we live in a topsy-turvy world. And when I see progressives defending this Russian meddling in our country at large, look, guys, we heartily disagree. That doesn't mean that you should run elections based on Russian interference. And it doesn't mean releasing DNC emails somehow proves anything, or that those emails shouldn't have been covered. I covered them, okay? And they should have been covered, and they were telling, okay? But that just because the Democrats are using it, and the establishment is using it as an excuse for having lost the election, and that was not the main reason they lost the election, does not mean that the Russians aren't doing anything. They're doing this, let alone all the other things that have been uncovered. I don't want to go back into the litany of incredibly public evidence, the mountains of public evidence that connects the Russians to Trump, including his son, both his sons, Eric and Donald Trump Jr., saying, yeah, of course we're getting money from the Russians. Well, you got all our golf courses are all funded by the Russians. Eric Trump says they apparently really, really like golf. And this meeting at the Seychelles Island with Eric Prince, member of the DeVos family, I could go on and on and on with Russian connections, the Trump server in Pennsylvania. But guys, open your eyes. It doesn't mean it's determinative of the 2016 election. It doesn't prejudge what Mueller is going to conclude. But do the Russians support Donald Trump? Of course, it's right here and it's public. And by the way, it's not that complicated as to why. The Democrats were in favor of sanctions against Russia, which hurt the oligarchs. The oligarchs run Russia, so they'd like to have a friend friendly lackey like Trump who'll give them whatever they want. And if you think that that's not clear, you're not paying attention and you're purposely being blind to what's happening here. If you want to get the whole Young Turks show every single day, become a member, tytnetwork.com/join. And once you do, you'll be saying,
you know, I'm like a smart person.
Or you might say,
I think it's weird.
Or you might say,
oops.
No, that won't be that one. It won't be that one. It'll be great, trust me. tytnetwork.com/join.